Astro Bot is the closest that anyone has come to matching and almost surpassing the sheer joy, wonder, and refinement of Super Mario and his platforming. With 80 levels, 15 new abilities, 150 cameos to find, and 300 bots to collect, Astro Bot is pure delight and should be a mandatory purchase for any PlayStation gamer. Astro Bot takes everything that was great about Astro's Playroom and cranks every dial to 11. Cameos, DualSense integration, collectibles, new ideas, and yet it still somehow finds a way to constantly surprise the player. There is almost never a second in Astro Bot where something fun isn't happening or your interest isn't being piqued. Even at the level select areas, there are loads of secrets to discover as you fly your spaceship around. You don't even need to play any of the objectives either. Sometimes just the physics of Astro Bot are mesmerizing as you frolic and spin in a pile of acorns, skulls, or Wumpa fruits. The peak of the mountain with Astro Bot are the theme levels built around core PlayStation experiences with games like God of War and Uncharted, just to name a few. It's incredible how Team Asobi were able to capture the essence of these games, but make it inside the Astro Bot universe. Then, on top of that, hit every single note that makes these titles essential experiences, down to the smallest details for those that are looking. Technical accomplishments aside, there is a huge attention to detail when you're flying around space. Shooting stars are PlayStation buttons, joysticks on the spaceship are move controllers, and when you find Nadine from Uncharted Lost Legacy, she is near the map of Madagascar. The one little detail that truly blew my mind was when you find a new enemy who is a nut and a bolt, you have to do a spin attack to defeat him, and sure enough, the way that the nut comes off the thread, lefty-loosey, righty-tighty. One of the best things about Astro Bot is that there's no lives, which seems like an arbitrary inclusion in Super Mario and other platformers, even though no matter if you lose all your lives, you'll just get a bunch of new ones, so why put them in there to begin with? This way you're always constantly in the fun, especially when you incorporate how quickly the game reboots you after death. About the only criticism with Astro Bot is that there's a fair amount reused from previous games, including enemies, bosses, and abilities, but that's kind of par for the course for platformers, and with an abundance of fresh and original ideas across the board, this becomes a moot point. As someone that owned every PlayStation console and handheld since the mid-90s, this game tickles the PlayStation bone, but people newer to the ecosystem might not get the absurd amount of winks and nods to its legacy. There is a very large juxtaposition in Astro Bot between the extremely addicting gameplay that is filled to the brim with something to do every single second, but wanting to savor each moment due to it being a generational experience. For PlayStation fans, Astro Bot is a near-perfect gaming experience, and for everyone else, it might not be a revolution, but it's one of the most polished and refined platformers ever. Before leaving, consider subscribing if you learned anything new from the video or enjoyed the vibes. If you're unfamiliar, we're trying to cultivate a community full of positivity that's free from toxicity and negativity. That's everything for today, but until next time, be good to your fellow gamer, but be better to your fellow human.